Hello there and welcome to bnettv.com. I'm Michelle Sklar. We're here at Mobile Internet World in Boston at the Heinz Convention Center. I'm joined by Dean Macri of the Cielo Group. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us about your company.
Well, the Cielo Group was actually founded a couple of years ago, almost the dawn before people began using their phones for doing things other than making a voice call. And the idea of really getting consumers to be able to access content and services beyond simply text messaging, really.
Wonderful. So what exactly does the Cielo Group do?
So as an example, if you were an advertiser such as BMW or Anheuser-Busch, really what you're doing today is you're using content to build a community, to engage with consumers on a one-to-one basis. And we purpose that content by downloading applications to consumers' phones and allowing the consumer brand to engage with them on a daily basis.
Okay. So you're working with some of the larger sort of consumable goods that are out there. You're working with companies that are now looking at new avenues for marketing and advertising. Are you having to justify the need to advertise on the mobile space, or are these companies coming to you already having recognized, I guess, if you will, that there's been, a paradigm shift, if you will, with regards to conveying your message?
No, that's a good question. I think that it's not about evangelizing anymore. I think advertisers always knew that the best way to reach a consumer is on their cell phone. Their PC is a place on a desk somewhere. Their phone is a place, it's a home or it's an office. But the cell phone is very personal, and they know that communicating them through their cell phone is a way to have a more intimate or a one-to-one relationship with them. What they've struggled with is being able to do it because they think of wireless networks as very much like the internet. Why can't it be like the internet? And the truth is that wireless networks, cell networks, are wholly unlike the internet. They're privately owned. These operators have spent billions and billions of dollars to build them out. And of course, before you jump on them to advertise, they want to know, well, how do we make money off of this?
Right. So are you working with these companies to, educate them on how to monetize their content, or how to put together a program, if you will, that's going to best convey their message to the consumer?
It's both. I think you have to put together, at some level, it's technology, which affects it, and then the other side of it is a lot of intermediation with the wireless network operators in setting up programs and a way in which the operator makes money and also the consumer brand company is able to reach that consumer.
It's interesting that a lot of these companies are now having to create these new divisions within their organizations to, address the growing need for sort of multimedia and new media opportunities to communicate those messages. Are you working with those divisions of those companies?
You know, it's tough. I think it depends on if we're working with an ad agency. Ad agencies tend to be somewhat siloed. There are the digital part of the ad agency, then there's the traditional part, and then there's the buyers who buy media, whether it be a billboard or a banner ad on a website. So there are different disciplines, if you will, and from a mobile perspective, for mobile to be successful, you have to kind of cut across a lot of those areas. At a consumer brand firm, they know what they want, they own the money. In some cases, they defer us to the agency. In other cases, they're not getting from their agency what they want, so they'll talk to us directly.
Now, you're speaking at the Mobile Internet World Conference.
Right.
Can you give us a brief idea of what you're going to be talking about?
Well, today there's a panel called Advertise Anywhere, where we talk about how anywhere could be anywhere, walking down the street, pedestrians on the street, and they see a billboard. And on the billboard, there's something called a short code. It's a 5-digit phone number.
Yep.
Exactly, and they can use that off of that's discovered on a billboard to get information on the product that's advertised in the billboard. And that links the physical world through the wireless networks to the digital world. Tomorrow we're going to be speaking on a panel that's mobile advertising strategies, in which case there are lots of different strategies. The billboard is a good example, but there are other strategies like buying little tiny banner ads on operators' decks. That's another point of discovery. It's a more traditional kind of serve an impression and then link that impression to some digital action, like click to video, click to call, things like that.
Right. I'm not sure if you can speak to this particular question, but the automotive industry is an interesting example as far as the convergence of various advertising mediums, whereas perhaps a person doesn't buy a vehicle every day. So these companies are, I think, are having to come up with more creative ways to keep their brand in front of the consumer. What kinds of innovative things have you seen them doing?
Well, a car, the automotive manufacturers know that the car is personal to everybody. Chevy trucks, for example, a long time ago, a long time in this industry, 2 years ago,
Right.
actually realized that the people who loved their Chevy trucks also have a love affair with their cell phone and personalize their cell phone. And they want to personalize their cell phone with a ringtone, wallpapers. So the idea of personalization of something that's intimate to you, like a cell phone, is aligned to something that's very personal to you, like your truck or your car, whatever it might be. And so General Motors got into the business of producing ringtones that are the music, background music of their television commercials. And I don't know if you remember that Chevy truck, bass riff that was turned into a ringtone that was sold. Actually, they bought it. Consumers bought large numbers of this ringtone just because they wanted their cell phone to be like their Chevy truck. And today, they've just taken it to all kinds of new levels. In the automotive industry, I think they really understand that if they can engage with consumers, even though if it's expensive to engage with consumers on cell phones, if they can sell one truck, well, that pays for it.
Right, absolutely. Well, Dean, thank you so much for joining us. We've been speaking with Dean here from the Cielo Group, and we're at Mobile Internet World in Boston. I'm Michelle Sklar for BNetTV.com.